All right.
Good start. Good start, everyone.
Oh, you didn't know? You asked me to call somebody. It's the beautiful Sarah Marie. Degen Nation proudly presents the beautiful Sarah Marie Missing Big News. The Truck Stop Burrito, AJ Ryder. It's me, the D-O-double-G, Randall Johnson, alongside our special tag team partner. And that is Todd, the toddler, Schrupp from TVG. And if you don't like it, we have 2 words for you, AJ.
Well, you didn't let me do my first part of it. I don't even want to do the last part.
Never mind. Right.
You already stole my thunder, man.
So we are here with the one and all. There it is.
Hey, thank you. So, okay, AJ, you're fired. Todd, you got to quit TVG because now you're going to be an official triple clown.
Yeah, not my fault Randy botched it. Dude, you botched the spot, bro.
Happens. It happens.
Well,
all right, so
there's
welcome
no
everybody
filters on
us
this
live.
show.
And if you're not and you're watching this later on, we have Todd Schrupp from TVG here, and we're going to go all over Saturday, July 31st, late pick 4 at Del Mar, Bing Crosby Day.
Ooh, yeah.
We're excited about that. I know Todd is as well. So, and you guys can ask Todd questions as we go. We're going to rip through the pick 4 and then ask Todd some questions because we got to get to the track, and I'm sure he does too. So, welcome everybody who's watching live, and welcome everybody who's watching later on. Feel free to ask questions and do all those good things. Try to be nice. Degen Nation out there, welcome. And all our old school guys, welcome, and our TVG people, welcome. Todd,
try to be nice. Does anybody remember our last show?
Oh yeah, that was
Great.
Let's try not to do that again.
Who's the guest? Who was the guest?
Ryan
We
Dickey.
had Ryan Dickey.
Ryan Dickey.
And
It was
great. Let's just say it went down south really fast.
let's just say AJ pronounced the horse's name as Anal Arab. So, and then Sarah not knowing.
Come on.
Saying, and Sarah not knowing starts saying the horse likes to come from behind, and she's going too deep in the race, and not knowing this.
Because I'm always late to the party with things, and everybody's just dying, and I'm just.
And the crowd just ate it up.
I had some great mispronunciations over the years. None that was that cheeky. Can I say that? So I was at Calder Racecourse in South Florida for 7 years before I came to TVG. And so I'm a paddock guy, and I'm giving my 1, 2, 3 picks. And I'm talking about this horse, You Can Call Meal. And I keep saying the one, You Can Call Meal, You Can Call Meal, You Can Call Meal, You Can Call Meal. I walk out of the paddock, and a guy goes, "That's You Can Call Me Al, idiot." So I go, "Oh, sorry. Couldn't figure that out."
Like the song.
Yeah, like the song. Like every obvious thing was there, but maybe I don't know. Maybe I just like to eat. I couldn't see anything, but You Can Call Me.
The worst part is it was actually Paul Simon who told him that when he walked out. Oh, that's fantastic. All right, so Todd, it's good to see you again. We've seen you at the track a few times now.
Great to have you back on.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's okay.
Great to be with you guys. You do wonderful work, so thank you.
Oh, thank you. So do you, Todd. You do all right yourself. All right, so let's get into it. Sarah,
I was fishing for a compliment.
Yeah. No shit.
Oh my goodness. Woo! All right. Well,
we can swear in this thing. We can swear.
Yeah.
It's the internet. You can do whatever you want.
This is not an AOL chat room. You can get away with anything now.
We just said we talked about anal Arab for about 20
AOL
minutes.
chat room.
Oh, welcome to the show, everybody. All right.
His trainer was Chad Brown, by the way. True story.
True story. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Let's go.
All right.
Todd regrets this very much.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right, we're going to do the late pick for Saturday's card at Del Mar. It's a big day at Del Mar. The late pick 4 does start with race 8, which is a claiming race 7 furlongs on the dirt for $55,000 for 3-year-olds. AJ, would you like to kick us off?
No, but I will. I originally did the Saratoga one for tomorrow, and then I realized, oh shit, we're not doing Saratoga. And we'll do Jim Dandy and the whole thing. So I did this very, very quickly. 20 minutes ago. So take my picks with a grain of salt there, Todd. Don't judge me.
I wasn't taking your picks either way, so
yeah, well,
didn't
good
matter how
point.
much time you put into it.
Smart. No, the one that stuck out to me was Wipe the Slate. I still don't have numbers on time form, so I have to count every single one. But the 5-2 Wipe the Slate, I did this the 6. Thank you. Wipe the Slate I have here. Just based off of recent performances, this horse did run really well, coming off a couple stakes appearances, an allowance appearance, and now drops down to the claiming. So big drop here for Dan O'Neill. Or Doug O'Neill, sorry. I don't know, where do I get Dan from? I don't know. I threw with that's the 6, and this horse is the 8. Positivity 6-1. I like coming back to the dirt after being in the Los Al Futurity, a stakes race at Santa Anita, and then going to the turf, and then Golden Gate comes back gelded. Just an interesting kind of angle that I found intriguing here to go with, and then I'm gonna go bombs away here early and go the 30 Alpine Thunder. The 30-1 shot. I don't have numbers. It's really confusing.
You just have to count one through down.
Yeah, he doesn't know what to count.
Yeah, but as I'm talking, I'm not counting at the same time. I don't have that sort of mental capacity.
Alpine Thunder.
Yeah, Alpine Thunder, which is the 5. No, coming back after a couple trips on turf, I thought it had a decent run there at Los Al, coming back down to Del Mar, where this horse has ran before early on in its career. I think this horse is going to get better, and I think this horse is going to put up a better number than what we've seen over the course of the past couple months. So 30-1 shot, why not? I'll go with it. So I've got 6-8-5.
All right, 6-8-5. All right, so I'll go next real quick. I like the 1 herd immunity, and I think we all need herd immunity right now, so it's a good name for us to go with. Herd immunity, I like a lot. He was second. He was second to Love My Jimmy. Love My Jimmy's a good horse, and I think this is a new horse since being gelded, going to the dirt. I think this is a better horse now. I think I like the distance for him at the 7 furlongs here. I think it fits. I think a mile is a little too long, and 5.5 is a little too short. So I like the 7 furlongs move here. I'm also going to go with the 2. And could this be the distance with this horse, see the success? Because there's no early speed really in this race. And I think this 2 might go to lead and never get caught. So I'm going to play a 2 as well on there, and that's see the success. And the next one I'm going to go with is the 6, like AJ said, Wipe the Slate, who I like. I mean, I like the drop, and I think this is a drop to win, to go back up. So I like this drop here with this horse. So I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to go 1-2-6.
See, this is what happens when I cap before Randy and I leave my notes out.
Oh, jeez.
I also did the 1-2-6, and it's funny because your last comment about Wipe the Slate was almost exactly word for word what I had here.
Because I just read your thing.
Yeah, he's FYI, guys, Randy's just stealing my notes.
This is what Todd does to Simon Gregg.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew this, but
yeah, I'm looking forward to doing a lot of that later today.
Exactly.
And here's the thing: if Simon were AJ, I would say, AJ, after listening to that analysis, I love the fact that this is a pari-mutuel game, and I'm getting to throw my money in with where your money is and try and take your money. That was absolutely awful, but keep going. Sarah, I interrupted your time, Sarah, but AJ was awful, but go ahead.
Appreciate it.
I love it. Oh,
good to have you back, Todd. Always enjoy you being here.
Welcome back. This is why we brought Todd on, actually. So yeah, I did the same as Randy. 1-2-6. I do think 6 with this drop in class is really going to help him out. This horse has just been competing at such a strong class that and just struggling a little bit. So I think this drop would really help him out. I do agree with what Randy said about the 2 here. See the success that if this horse just gets loose, gets to the lead, it could be game over. But I also do like this herd immunity as well. I think it's a great play to definitely put on your ticket, at least in your exotics for sure. So I just went 3 deep, 1, 2, 6.
All right. Todd, what do you got?
Let's start with the favorite, Wipe the Slate, number 6, whom all of you agree on. I look at this horse as a phony favorite. You're absolutely right about the company. You don't have to go back far. When this horse debuted as a 2-year-old last year here at Del Mar, he ran against Life is Good, who is supposedly going to be the second coming, and still may be. He's looking for a second half of the year return. And then the most recent start for Wipe the Slate, he runs third to How Be It. If you recall last weekend at Del Mar, How Be It moved up to optional 62,500 and absolutely dusted the field. How Be It may be in stakes company before this meet is over. So all that's great news. Then the question you have to ask yourself is, why is Wipe the Slate being offered for 50,000? Now, if you want to justify that, you can say the owner, Paul Redham, is recession proof. He doesn't need necessarily all the horses that he has, but we're talking about a 3-year-old who's run against 2 significant horses, run okay against them, and now they're offering up for 50. I look at the 6, Wipe the Slate, as an absolute phony favorite, because we can look there, see those past performances, see the class level, and now the horse is being offered up for 50. I'm very skeptical of Wipe the Slate. The horse that none of you mentioned, which just shocks me, is the 3, Code Duello. Code Duello was claimed last time out off of Brad Cox from trainer Richie Baltus, but claimed in Kentucky, and it obviously qualifies for the Ship and Win program. One, I think a lot of people shy away when you have a powerful barn like Brad Cox and someone claims off them. But the truth is, actually, you can claim off those barns like Pletcher. You can claim off Brad Cox, and you can do well if you're the right kind of barn. Richie Baltus is the right kind of barn. The second thing with Code Duello, he's turning back in distance after a series of route races on the turf. He's only had 1 try on the quote-unquote main track, but that was a synthetic track at Turfway Park. This horse now moves to the dirt, and so I see all the logic in the claim here to come back with the Ship and Win opportunity. They can offer the horse up for 50,000 because of that, and the turn back, and also the possibility the horse might be better on dirt. Code Duel is one of my best plays in this pick 4 sequence. If you don't use the 3, look, you don't have to take my word on the 6 being a phony favorite. Go ahead and use that horse. But I would advise all of you, because none of you mentioned the 3, Code Duello. That is a must use in the start of the pick 4. The other 2 horses you mentioned, Herd Immunity and the 2 in here, Sea to Success. There's a lot of angles there with Bill Spar. After he claims a horse, and he claimed Herd Immunity, when he gives them a freshening, that's his MO. His horses, that's what he does all the time. He claims, gives them time off, and then they come back and they usually run well. Herd Immunity fits that pattern. As far as Sea to Success, this horse, Reed Saldana doesn't claim a lot of horses, but he does pretty good off the claim. And this horse is coming back having already won at the meet. And a lot of times that's a good turnaround angle to come back already at the meet. So to me, this race was all about taking a stand against the 6, Wipe the Slate, and looking at the inside horses, the 3, Code Duello, the 1, Herd Immunity, and the 2, Sea to Success.
All right. Nice. Going against the favorite. We like that right off the bat. All right. Let's go to race 9. Sarah, what's race 9?
Race 9, we got an allowance on the turf, 1 mile and 18th on the turf. It is $74,000 at stake here. This is for 3-year-olds. AJ, let's see what Todd can make fun of you for this time.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. Start off, I'm going to go with the 1 here, coming off the big, long layoff. I did like this horse a lot at the end of last year. Ran with Smooth Like Straight a bunch of times, Pixelate, all great horses. Takes the big layoff as a 4-year-old. Hopefully is going to mature and improve. And I kind of expect this horse to run even better, having been able to take all that time to mature. Rip City is one too that I also really like here. 12 starts, 5 wins, 8 times in the top 2. Horse is always around 4-1. That's an easy one for me to take too. And then I'll take a little bit higher priced one in Media Blitz, which I believe is the 3. Not much to go on except for the fact that in the last 2 years, and in 5 races that it's ran in 2 years, 2 wins, 1 near miss or 2 near misses. And coming back to this one, I'll throw out that last race, giving 50 days off, coming back here to this one. Distance isn't a problem, so I like this horse's chance too.
All right, so we got those. Now, this is a race I looked at like you could throw darts at a board here.
Yeah.
This is crazy. But I took three. I went three, and this is my angles here. I went with Get Her Number. I think that was a fan favorite of us before, AJ. I think we
Probably.
talked about that horse before. Get Her Number, the 11. Back to turf here. Trouble in the last few. And I think, and this horse is shown likes the track. And the one thing we did learn about Del Mar, and I remember talking to Sarge about this personally, we always forget, like, they run well at Del Mar. They run well again at Del Mar. This horse ran well at Del Mar before. And I mean, at 8-1 could steal it. And I think this horse, if it can finally break a little bit, could be around the lead. And I think this horse will be tough at 8-1. I'm going to go with the 11. Get Her Number. The next one I'm going to go with is the 9 Rip City. You talked about the 9 Rip City. Just hard to throw out that horse. Always around. I mean, this horse always knows where the wire is, always around. So I have to put that horse in. Let's just put it that way. And the 8 here is Who Knows. That's a weird one. And that is, what is it? Iridio. Right. Iridio. We don't know what's going to happen, but we do always like that first time gelded angle coming over here. And this is the first time gelding. And that's just one I'd have to throw in at 8-1 because you have it looks like it might want this distance. I don't know. It's really hard to see when a horse comes over from, what was it, like Argentina. I'm not big on those races. So I'm going to go with those 3. I mean, it could be anything here. So whatever anybody says is whatever, but I'm going to go in order 8, 9, 11, 11, 9, 8 in the order I like them.
All right. I went 4 deep here. I agree with what you said. You could kind of throw a dart here at this race. I'll start. I did have Rip City as well. I'm not going to say too much about him as you guys both spoke in regards to this horse. I just do kind of see that this horse's 4-year-old career, he just seems to be getting better. Like Randy's saying, he's just always there. He's always there. I also liked the 6 here, Ready Soul, at 7-2 with Flavian in the irons. I feel like this is a horse kind of hard not to leave off your ticket here, especially with Flavian and Diamato. It's a strong combo you can't really play against. I like 1 KP Systems All Go. It's his first time off a layoff, which I know could be a little bit of a red flag here because he hasn't raced since October, but he has been working out at Del Mar and has some pretty impressive workouts so far at Del Mar. On the turf, and like Randy had mentioned in regards to horses working out at Del Mar, if they seem to be taking to the track there, that's a good sign. So that's kind of where my thought process was on the 1 here. And I also was with Randy here on Get Her Number. It's coming back to turf, which I think this is going to hopefully be a good thing. Randy had mentioned that this horse is just struggling there on the dirt. Hopefully switching over, with his breeding, it seems like he might be a little bit more impressive on the turf here. So I think for 8-1, it's a great price to have on your ticket.
All right. So 4 deep there.
Yep.
All right, Todd, tell us how we're wrong.
All right. Well, look, I agree with you guys that it's a wide open race. Usually these optional claimers on the turf are. The common horse that you guys keep bringing up is Rip City. And that horse is a must use. I'm not saying Rip City is a single. Clearly, I agree with you. It's a wide open race, but I do believe that's the horse you have to have on your ticket. Where I would question you a little bit and press you is on Get Her Number, because you have a 3-year-old taking on older horses. Now we're at the right time of year. We're getting almost into August. However, for this horse to be a 3-year-old taking on older horses, coming off those performances and now stepping on the turf against accomplished horses, I couldn't do that. I would rather buy in to the horse that AJ and Sarah brought up, KP All Systems Go, if I'm going to be looking at a price. I think it's too much to ask for Get Her Number on the far outside, being an older horse. The one horse that surprises me that none of you mentioned is Ocean Atlantique for trainer Mike Maker. Ocean Atlantique was a horse that I watched come into the Keeneland Spring Meet back in April, making the U.S. debut for Brendan Walsh. And this horse got bet off the board. And after that kind of lackluster 5th place finish, all the sharp players I knew on that circuit were waiting to bet Ocean Atlantique next time out. That horse was not even the favorite at about 3 minutes to post. And then some serious money moved in on Ocean Atlantique. The horse got beat as the favorite again at Keeneland, then showed up at Churchill on the dirt, lackluster performance, and now shows up out here, barn switch to Mike Baker. I got to come back for Ocean Atlantique because we're going to get a better price at the 6-1 morning line. And Ocean Atlantique is a must use in this race. As far as other horses in here, you were talking about the pace, and it was one thing you were mentioning about the 11, get her number on the outside. You thought with that horse's early speed could be near the lead. The fastest horse in this race is Sash. And just because of that, I think Sash at 12-1 in the morning line, getting loose on the lead, is a horse you have to respect. And then let me throw one other long shot in there, a horse that'll be trying the grass for the first time. That is Proverb. Proverb is son of Flatter, who's a son of AP Indy, should be able to handle the grass. And the previous race, you were talking about company lines and a $50,000 claiming race with the favorite. How about the company lines of Proverb? Last 3 starts, Green Light Go, who used to be a quality 2-year-old in graded stakes company, and then Silver Prospector, who's an established graded stakes horse now, and Nick's Go, who when he's at his best is one of the best in the handicap division. So if you look at the company that Proverb has kept on the main track, absolutely matches up here. If you look at this horse's ability to handle the turf, I think it's there in the pedigree. So 2 interesting long shots in the 4 Proverb and the 7 Sash, and then a horse that I think is a must use, Ocean Atlantique, and then kind of our group horse, the 9 Rip City. So I would definitely be 5, 9, 4, 7 in here. And no matter how someone's constructing their ticket in the late pick 4 on Saturday on Bing Crosby Day, this is the race where I think you got to use your most horses.
All right.
Yep, I agree.
All right. Yeah, this one's a big one. This one's this one is tough because obviously we have something coming up right here, and that is the Bing Crosby. So right away, Todd, we did something for you because we know you TVG guys are visual.
You got me a vertical threat hat?
No, it's not a vertical threat hat.
Might be a little bit better.
You're jumping on it because we have something for everybody out there that we made. Sarah put together for our main man. In case you don't know, we're going to play it right now for you. So check it out.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. Nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
Vertical threat, looking a horse of high promise. Wins in hand.
That's how winning is done.
Looking good in the Smiling Tiger. Wrapped up under the wire by 5.
Vertical threat, long gone. Vertical threat, much the best in the Steel Valley Sprint.
Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hit. And not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
This here is all about my wife, my kids, the life that I live. Through the night, I was his. It was right what I did. My ups and downs, my slips, my falls, my trials and tribulations, my heart, my walls, my mother, my father. I love him, I hate him. With God, I didn't have him, but I'm glad that he made him. The roaches, the rats, the strays, the cats, the guns, knives, and bats. Every time I scrap, the hustling, the dealing, the robbing, the stealing, the shit in the ceiling. Little boy with no feelings, the frustration, rage, trapped inside a cage, the beatings till the age. I carried a 12 gauge.
There it is.
I mean, how could you not want to conquer the world after that? Sly Stallone, knowing better as a motivational speaker. That was fantastic.
Yeah. After we lost all the viewers.
Yeah, that's okay. That's all right. They'll watch it and they'll like it later on. And we'll probably have to cut it out anyway because we'll probably get sued by DMX's family.
No, that's all right. All $5 I have to
But
name, we're good.
that is our boy. That is the guy who, just remember when he was a baby, he threw the jockey, jumped over a fence, fell into a ditch, tried to run away. Always been trouble. He's a mean little guy. If you saw him trying to bite me there, he's a psychopath, and that's going to be maybe his only problem. Because yesterday he was totally washed out. jacked out of his mind, crazy.
Watched him in the walking ring yesterday, and
but he's the fastest in this race, and there's no doubt in my mind. So we're gonna go into it, the Bing Crosby. So AJ, let's start it out.
I had vertical threat written down. Now I'm tossing him. Just put a big old X through that horse. I was gonna try to get over the fact that the only jockey that's ever won on him is down in Florida right now. This horse is coming off a layoff, first time ever off Lasix. Up until you showed me that video, I was all in. Now I'm out.
This is what I do.
All those things I just mentioned, I was willing to get past, and now I'm out. So that being said, now I got to find somebody else. CZ Rocket is another horse I can't get behind after they ducked down to Lone Star to also stay on Lasix, and now comes back here. I'm just gonna go with Dr. Scheivel and Brickyard Ride. I really like Dr. Scheivel here. Because I'm throwing out vertical threat, I'm going to throw in Brickyard Ride, who's also been a horse who's had success off of Lasix as well. But Scheivel's my favorite. Pratt stays on. I really like what this horse could possibly do coming back for the second time in 2021. So, yeah, I got to go 8-9 now, which I don't get a price because of you guys.
All right.
You're welcome.
I'm going to go very quickly. I'm going to tell you why I'm just going to vertical threat here. I'm going to make my case for my boy. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to go through all of them really quick. We have the one shooter shoot is just overmatched, but I do think this race sets up for him a little bit for him to hit the board. Then I'll go to CZ Rocket, pass the torch. It's a weird thing that Peter Miller said when he was like, we know this horse bleeds. He's a bleeder, and he's mad at which I agree with, everybody for making a horse not go on Lasix. In that, he's verbalized this. And he's like, well, it's the card he's given. Let's see what he does. I don't know if that comes off well. That we know the horse is a bleeder and you're going to run him off Lasix. Let's hope he doesn't bleed. He hasn't bled in a while. But I'm also think it's time for him to pass the torch, possibly. Is he the best horse in the race? Possibly. Yeah, I mean, he's proven that he's the best. But let's see. I mean, I never vote for a horse to bleed, but, maybe this is going to be something. He has stayed away from the Lasix thing. Let's see where he's at. Law-abiding citizen, I mean, he's been running, I feel like, since AJ was in high school, and just don't think he has a shot. The 5 there, Quick Tempo's early speed, doesn't have 6 furlongs with these guys. 8 rings, I compared to, the Packers and the Patriots. It's like those guys that walk around like they've won the Super Bowl the last 10 years, and I don't know what 8 rings has done. He's a baffled horse that was strong when he was young, and now he hasn't done anything. So, but he's training well. I get it. Dr. Scheivel, I know is going to be the sexy pick. I don't why. You're going off an impressive photo finish. That's great at Santa Anita. He's not bad, but come on now. And I just don't think Brickyard Ride, as fast as he is, can if somebody gets a shot at him like a vertical threat. And I'll give my case of vertical threat. The horse is 3 for 3 on the dirt in sprints. He's won by over 6.5 every time, so he's done nothing wrong. And he's got the highest numbers on here. I mean, and he's creeping up. I don't know why he's getting no love, but I'm going to take him. Like I said, I would take him in CZ Rocket, if anything. I don't like the other picks. I think it's a stacked field, but that's where I'm at with vertical threat. That's fine.
Ooh, all right. Well, I singled vertical threat here.
And I have to single him, I believe, by law.
Possibly. I am interested to see CZ Rocket. We've kind of had our eye out on this horse for a while to see, this is possible Breeders' Cup material horse. How is he going to be able to perform in California with the Lasix rules? So now we'll be able to see that. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, this horse is an impressive horse. Has ran against such impressive company. So I am keeping an eye on CZ Rocket here just to see how he performs. I do feel like with Dr. Scheivel, especially getting that outside post is really gonna benefit him. Obviously, you look at his PPs, he's getting first the last few races, but nothing as strong of fields as what we're going to see on Saturday. Saturday is going to be the Bing Crosby is a very stacked field. But I like Randy said it, I'm not picking vertical threat just because, yes, he is our horse, but this is a horse that wins and he wins impressively and he's strong. He just wants to run. Now we do have Joe Bravo on, which is a new jockey. Yes, Roberto Figueroa was undefeated on him, but now he's out at Monmouth. Joe Bravo, the one great thing about having Joe Bravo on Vertical Threat is he has been exercising him every morning. Now, this horse is a very tricky horse. You got to get to know this horse or he won't like you. So have my hopes up there with Bravo and the Irons. But he's been pretty hot. So
Well, he's well rested sleeping in his major hotel he's at.
yes. Joe LeBerge. he's good. So
Yes.
that's like,
Joe Barrish.
yeah. So that's my case for why I'm going to single Vertical Threat plus 8-1. If that does come in, that's a strong single, and you're going to have a good price there. All right, Todd. Now it's your time to yell
Well,
at
I'm
us.
going to go to the dark side. No, I'm going to the dark side. AJ's got the analysis on this race right. You made the statement, Sarah, that even if I weren't part of the partnership that owns Vertical Threat, I'd like him. The only way I could pick Vertical Threat, in my opinion, is if I was part of the partnership. Because the bottom line is, if you can tell me where Disco Ball is, Ragtime Blues is, any of the horses that he's beat with authority, then I'll give you more credit with Vertical Threat.
Tell him, Todd. Tell him, Todd.
Yeah, with the presence of Brickyard Ride, the quarter mile here at any level in California is the fastest horse in California. So the thought that Vertical Threat is going to rate in this race and go on and beat this field, I don't want you to be too upset when you go to the races on Saturday. So just prepare yourself for that moment. As far as the whole Lasix thing with CZ Rocket, I do think it's a fair thing to be concerned about. Why Peter Miller made a comment that he did, I think that's natural. Trainers always want to have the quote-unquote built-in excuse after the race. So having said that, the race sets up perfectly for any horse with any type of finish. No one really finishes better than CZ Rocket in here. 5-2 in the morning line. I think he's more 8-5. He might even be 6-5 in here. I'm going to set aside the Lasix concerns. The fact that Flavian Pratt, as AJ pointed out, went to Dr. Scheibel when he had the option, obviously, with Collusion Illusion, kind of says everything you need to know here. The only other horse I would just kind of point out is that, Law Abiding Citizen is 7 years old, but he's got a third behind CZ Rocket in the Pat O'Brien at Del Mar. He's got a third last year behind Collusion Illusion in the Bing Crosby. And after that race, Mark Lott said, I'm thrilled that Collusion Illusion won the Bing Crosby, but I'm just as proud of Law Abiding Citizen from what he did. Can he jump up and win the race? Most likely not, but he is a horse that can rate. He doesn't have to have the lead, and they're all going to have to rate in here because of Brickyard Ride. So, as far as Vertical Threat, everything you talked about, his aggressiveness is actually going to work against him because of the presence of Brickyard Ride. If he goes out there and open quarter mile with Brickyard Ride, it's going to be the end of both those horses, and it's going to be a perfect setup for CZ Rocket. So, I'm really in line with AJ's analysis, CZ Rocket, Dr. Scheibel, and probably more pro CZ Rocket than anyone here. And believe me, I usually don't fall in line with horses like this, but his company lines, the way the race sets up, you start there, and then you look at the Mark Glatt barn and try and choose the best horses out of there. And Dr. Scheibel, because of Flavian Pratt, appears to be that best horse.
Okay, now I just want to say, Todd, if you're wondering where Ragtime Blues was, he was the horse that Collusion Illusion barely beat at the wire at 6.5.
And now he's a claimer.
Disco Ball, he barely beat as well. So if you're looking Collusion Illusion, those two horses, Ragtime Blues would have beat him at 6 furlongs.
So when you heard AJ and I analyzing this race, did you hear us pick Collusion Illusion?
No, and also remember, first time at Del Mar, he ran the same time as the Bing Crosby winner last year.
You're trying to bury a horse that no one picked.
All right, we'll see. We're going to see, guys.
We're going to be sitting right behind Todd.
You did say,
eyeing him the whole.
Todd, you did make a great point. I was going to say the only thing I think, because I do think he's just flat out, if you give him 6 furlongs, he's proved I think he's fast as anybody, is his aggressiveness. If Bravo can handle him and sit him 4th or 5th and do that turn move he makes, yes, he can win. If he tries to do like when he was amped up in the Pat Day Mile,
No shot.
he can't do it. And he could burn himself out before he gets to the gate. His aggressiveness I agree with that. That's the only thing I agree with, though.
Well, yeah, and you really have to watch this track. I mean, to start the week at Del Mar, speed, honor, near lead was a good thing, but this is a different type of setup in here. But look, if you're getting a conveyor belt type track and he can hang with Brickyard Ride, and it's a type of track no one can close on, then yeah, maybe it happens. So look, I'm always rooting for you guys. You know that. I hope you know. It's a handicapping opinion. And believe me, I've been wrong on many occasions. We all are as horse players. But I always get that moment where a horse owner walks up and says, "You didn't like my horse," and they kind of take it personal, like it's just a handicaking opinion. But
no,
yeah,
of course, Todd.
Yeah,
I'm actually glad you did that. It makes it better.
Yeah, no, I wish you the best, and if you have a chance down the stretch, I'll absolutely be rooting for you. But again, I want to lower your expectations. I think that's what friends do.
He's keeping us grounded.
Keep me grounded. That is true. You need that sometimes. All right.
Boy.
So that's it.
No, we got one more leg.
No, I know.
Oh,
That's
okay.
it about the Bing Crosby.
Yeah,
Anybody out there?
Randy's like, I'm just done with this show.
Yeah, screw it. I'm out. I quit.
Wow. All right.
Told you we should have got that Weaver guy.
Oh boy. Well.
No, let's move on. But anybody out there with the Bing Crosby, if you want to say anything, say it now. I saw a couple
Yeah,
of
hurry your picks. Yeah, we have a few
Dennis
CZ
put Collusion Illusion up there.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out why Pratt did. I don't even know if that's a huge thing. It could be a younger thing. I actually have a question in, but I didn't get answered about the Pratt thing because, insider thing is Pratt was going to go to Vertical Threat, who didn't get carded at Santa Anita, then didn't get carded at Los Al, and I believe Pratt was going to go on Vertical Threat, and then it was going to be a choice between Vertical Threat or later on. Obviously it would have been the thing. So I don't know if Pratt was, and he's Pratt. He just does whatever he wants. But I don't know if it's a younger thing. He's going to run more, something like that. So
yeah.
Any other race, you see this jockey jump and you hop all over Dr. Schreiber. You always make a huge deal about these jockey jumps. And now all of a sudden it's not a big deal.
I heard about it personally, though. He
has insider info that has changed his perspective here on a jockey.
And I asked if it was like this big move, and it was like, I'm trying to find out, but it didn't seem like it was like, it's whatever.
I think to the public, though, they're going to look at
that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Pratt knows what he's doing. I mean, he wants to win. He's not getting paid any more if he comes in fourth than first. I mean.
Right.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, let's go to the final leg. Race 11 to end out your Saturday at Del Mar, which is an allowance optional claimer. We got 1 mile on the turf for $72,000. This is for 3-year-old California bred horses. AJ, what do you like here?
Well, I do like this 4 here, US Danger. I just like looking at the lines and seeing how this horse kind of went up to Golden Gate, started on the turf, really kind of found itself and has been running great. And now comes back down here, and I think it is really going to make some noise. 4-1's a little low for me with this horse coming from Golden Gate, but winning 3 in a row and winning 3 in a row in style, I think this horse is pretty dangerous here. And we've said it before on this fans, we are big fans of Wong. So I just feel like I can't go wrong there, including this horse on my ticket. The other one is the 2, Carmelita's Man. Second time gelding here, ran really well at this distance at Santa Anita just 2 months ago. Coming back now, second time gelding. I really think this horse is going to put up a major effort. Had I had more time to really look into it, like I said before, I really didn't. The Trevor T looks interesting to me, but I didn't get enough of really a look. So I guess I'm just going to stick with the 2 and the 4.
All right. Great soundbite there that you're a fan of Wong. And I actually have the same thing as you written down, AJ. I almost do a T that 4-1 was a little, I thought, generous. But I still 3 in a row coming in for Golden Gate. We do like to use him. So I do have him as my 3rd pick on here. I have also the 1, Sea of Liberty. I know that Miller claims this horse, and Miller's really good off the claim, and it was a weird claim to me when I look at it, but he knows something. He's jumping him up a little bit, and that gives me something going on here at 7-2 with Bravo and Miller. Obviously it'll be the Bravo double, so it doesn't matter, but we'll just go with that. And I do like the 1 here. I thought that was interesting. That claim he did, and Miller off the claim is doing really well. Always does. So and the other one, I'll do the 7. That isn't 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the Constant Conflict. Pratt jumps on. You know how I love that angle, AJ. And but Erwin and Pratt are doing well. You throw out his first race because if you looked at his start, it was pretty bad. The mile's a question, obviously, but I got to use him here at 8-1. So I'm going to do 1-7-4, but this is another race that's just whatever anybody says, I'll be like, okay. Fine.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. And yes, Dennis, I said dinger. I'm glad somebody caught it because no one else seemed to want to put it over.
My earpods were waking up, and I'm like, did he say danger? Like, I thought danger was pretty straightforward there.
No.
But it all comes back full circle. We're
it's
talking
not
about
us danger.
Yeah.
There we go.
Danger.
Us danger.
Like an Illinois accent.
Yeah,
all right.
Us danger. All right. Well, I went 3 deep here. I'm kind of in agreement with the in 2 deep in our comments here. I looked at you as danger. Golden Gate to Del Mar, I don't think is a good transfer. I don't think it transfers over well. Golden Gate shippers, if you're doing well at Golden Gate, in my opinion, you might as well stay at Golden Gate because it doesn't transfer too well to Santa Anita or Del Mar.
They're not running
often.
at Golden Gate. They can't stay there.
Well, Golden Gate's back.
Oh, it is? Oh,
yeah.
Never mind.
Anyways.
Breaking news, Golden Gate's still running.
Welcome to horse racing. I did pick the one, though, Sea of Liberty, which you were on as well. I just think, first time off a claim here, 7-2. This horse, I think, going the mile, I think that's kind of probably going to be this horse's happy distance here. Miller has an 88%, claim to allowance. I think that's something to really look at here. And like I said, Joe Bravos, he's kind of becoming hot here at Del Mar. So I think a jockey to really keep your eye on. Maybe it's because he's staying at Le Bear, so he's getting plenty of rest and getting pampered, so it's doing him some good.
That's where Todd stays too. I don't know if anybody knows that.
Yeah, you can tell by the lovely hotel room. Only the best.
He's in the janitor's closet at Le Bear.
Great wallpaper.
Yeah.
For 1974.
Very beautiful. All right. I also took Trevor T here with Umberto in the irons. Coming back in his 6-year-old career. We'll see how this horse performs. He ended his 5-year-old career fairly strong, did very well at Del Mar in October. So I'm excited to see as a 6-year-old how this horse is going to perform. But I think having Umberto in the irons, I know he's a really tough turf jockey. I think that's a great angle there. I'm also taking the 7 Constant Conflict, which you had as well. He is stretching out. I think his front running style is going to be great here, especially at Del Mar. I just went 3 deep, just the 1, 5, and 7.
All right. Todd, what do you got?
I actually agree with Sarah's point about U.S. Danger. That horse, look, horses can come in from Northern California and do well in Southern California, on the dirt especially. The turf, depending on the spot they're up against, but this horse was maiden 20, 2 starter allowance races, got to come back at the same starter allowance condition, was a 30-cent favorite on the dollar. So I'm gonna pass on the horse that both you and AJ like. I'm gonna side with Sarah here, that U.S. Danger, I just don't think matches up against this field. Playing a pick 4, here's who I want to get alive to in this final race, and I feel confident that 9 out of 10 times I'll come out of this race with the winner. I'll just go in order numerically. The 1, Sea of Liberty, off the claim for Peter Miller that you mentioned. 3 previous tries over the Del Mar turf course that weren't great, but under the Peter Miller barn, I think you'll see obviously improvement. The 2, Carmelitas, man, had a big win during the Bing Crosby season over this turf course last year, and that race is good enough to beat this field. The 3, One Fast Bro for Shelby Ruiz. She does very well off a layoff. This horse been away since March and also seems to run his best races over the Del Mar turf course. And then a horse that AJ was a little non-committal on, and you guys brought up, Trevor T. He's interesting to me because he's a 5-year-old and he's only had 3 starts, didn't get to the races until his 4-year-old season, but man, was he good. He kind of seems like he's a little like Vertical Threat. he's kind of a bit of a head case, but if he behaves himself into the starting gate, I think there's enough pace in here. He's going to make a big late run. So my whole goal, both in the pick 5 and the pick 4 on Saturday, is to get alive to the final race, to the 1, 2, 3, and 5.
1, 2, 3, and 5. All right. Well, don't worry about getting alive because you didn't play the right horse in the race before. But no. But Todd, let me ask you before we go over the picks: do you see anything out there trending with Santa Anita for the people out there with? I know the rail was awful the first couple weeks. You see jockeys going outside like all day. Do you see anything trending? Early speed, late speed? Is it coming back to normal? What are you seeing?
I think it's been a very fair racetrack, both on the turf course and on the dirt. Thursday, speed got away a little bit, but I think when you look at the horses who won, they were probably the horses who are going to win. I advise people there is one bias that always tends to exist on the main track at Del Mar, and that's going back when they had a synthetic surface. It had nothing to do with how the surface was playing. It's something about the configuration. In a 1 mile race on the main track, you got to be on or near the lead. I'm not saying that's a mile and 16th. I'm not saying it's anything further, but at a flat mile, you need a horse that's tactical early, and that's existed since the beginning of time. So it's a trend that I think you can look at. And then on Thursday, they had the portable turf rail out 30 feet, which they won't on Saturday. But when the portable turf rail's out 30 feet, look for a horse on or near the lead as well. But for the most part, Del Mar is not seeing the main track get away from them in any way. And it's the same thing with the turf course. I got to give them great credit. And the most important thing is that it's a safe racing surface, both on the dirt and the turf. So, the trends I'd look for are things that I think you look for coming into any meet, where they put that portable turf rail, when they're using it, and then those 1 mile races on the main track, look for honor near the lead.
There you go. And Guillermo actually thinks you're in Tijuana, apparently. He asked if you were in Tijuana.
Could be.
That's a good possibility, Guillermo. It's funny. We're actually looking at places instead of going back and forth.
In Tijuana?
Yeah, I swear to God, all the hotels that were like, you're like, oh, I can go to this hotel. It was like Mexican border. It said
all the hotels like under $150 are basically Tijuana.
So
no, it's amazing. We went from nobody was traveling a year ago during this time. There was nobody at Del Mar, and now you can really see the pent up demand. I mean, it's great to have fans back. They're doing general admission now at Del Mar. But the greatest connection is getting to see those fans that you come used to seeing at every summer meet. But the greatest compliment that we've received, and it's so consistent, and it means the world to me. I get emotional when I meet people who say this, but a lot of people will come up. We just had several of them yesterday, and they stopped by the set and just said, "You helped me get through the pandemic. I had to stay home. I was looking for something for my time, and TVG got me through it." I mean, you can't have a better connection with the audience than that. So I've always been grateful first and foremost for the people who watch TVG, because that's the connection that I live for. I know we talk about wagering and we're reminding people about the pools and betting, but there's that connection you have with the audience. And it was really a difficult time for everybody, and everybody has a personal story over the previous year and a half. So yeah, hotel rates are back, but the main thing is fans are back at the track too, and I love it. So thank you.
Yeah, no,
is great.
There's no doubt. And we were talking to somebody the other day, and they said, I forget who it was, but we were talking to somebody, and they were like, Todd to them is, I think we were talking to Brie Ma, and they were like, she was like, Todd is like the voice you hear when you think TVG. Like you hear Todd, and and that's great. Yeah, no, and he did. And you know what? Horse racing did that through the pandemic. Very underrated, I think, compared to the other sports that everybody just got lost interest because of their politics and whatever. It seemed like people were just like, nah. Horse racing was there.
Horse racing was there, and I think it really helped to take people away from the reality of what was going on and give them an escape. Todd was there. You were in the TVG studio. You're the one that
look, and anyone who knows me, you can ask Simon Bray. I don't like going to the studio. I mean, it's a great studio. TVG's put a lot of money into that studio. I have great coworkers there, but I love going to the track. in my opinion, the greatest job you could possibly have for me, because I want to be at the track anyway, and that's my job, to go to the track. So when I go to the studio, yeah, I can do that show, but it's a long 3.5 to 4 hours. So when the pandemic came in, and essentially what happened was there was a rule that they had set in Los Angeles County, which was if you're an essential business, and TVG's in the communications business, so we fell in that category, and you could operate with 10 people or less, then you could continue to operate. So what TVG did is they put cameras in everyone else's homes, and what we would normally have 300 in our building now was 10. And I said, I'll be the guy who goes into the studio. Because there was another thing. I didn't want a camera in my home. And that's a long story on that point. But I was like, I'll go to the studio. So for 15 straight weeks, I went to the studio. So the fact, Sarah, that you bring that up during the pandemic, that was a big deal for me. But it was a bigger deal not because I don't like going to the studio. It was a bigger deal for me because I felt I was playing an important role on the team, because all those cameras in the homes, there's no guarantee that they're going to work, that we were doing something we'd never done before, taking what are called live view cameras and putting in people's houses. Technically, it was a miracle what our production crew pulled off, because those cameras worked great. And now we still have that. You're in Kurt Hoover's home with the weird cat clock in the background. You're in Matt Carruthers' home with his weird hair and whatever the painting is in the background. They still do those things. So it's really changed the way we broadcast. But I felt it was a privilege to go into the studio for those 15 weeks. Now that things are normal, yeah, I try everything I can not to go into the studio, because I want to be out at the racetrack with the fans.
Yeah, absolutely. And you had a couple of shout outs. And it's funny you said that about Matt Carruthers, because when he was on our show, it's really funny. I told him he reminds me of the actor, friend of mine, Judson Mills, who was the pretty boy blonde on Walker, Texas Ranger. Because he just reminds me of him. It kind of looks like him. And the first thing he said was, I have better hair.
He's very proud of that too.
Apparently so. He really is.
He should be. Not a lot of guys get to keep their hair.
But you did get a shout out. I don't know if you read it from Coach Garen over there. I don't know if you can see these. Oh, yeah, Todd's the best horse racing TV personality, in my opinion. I thought he wrote laughing my ass off, actually.
Well, Coach Garen's been a good follower of mine on Twitter. And you know, when Coach Garen's talking about different angles he learns from us, I just would say this to everybody, and you don't have to like my handicap, but the best handicapping angles I've ever acquired are from other horse players. And when you're around the game long enough, you'll see what works. There are some angles like Matt Carruthers' second time blinkers where I'm like, what? But I mean, it works for, my whole thing is, if it works for you, then don't worry about what everyone else says. But I can just tell you that the core of my handicapping principles and how I sit down and start to look at a race, I acquired from other horse players, whether it was reading a book by Andy Beyer and taking some of the things that I learned there, or listening to somebody at the racetrack that I trusted and knew what they were talking about. There are some really, really good horse players. And it's a weird dichotomy because we're playing against those same people. You know, as I was talking about, I'm happy sometimes that my money's in the pool that AJ's in, but sometimes he's happy that his money is in the pool that I'm in. You just have the ups and downs. To me, at the end of the day, it all comes down to how you bet. We're all going to pick winners. Our angles are going to work at some point, even if it's just a random occurrence. But how you bet, whether it's into the pick 4, the pick 5, or vertically, that's the difference. This game is 80% betting and 20% handicapping.
Yeah, and there's a question out there right now that does come up a lot, and we do hear it. And it's a weird thing back and forth because we've gotten heat on both ends of this, and I know you guys do. And Too Deep in LA, I forgot his name, but I know he's a follower of our show. He says tickets they gave out are destroying their customer case and he's being serious. And when we hear this about like the big tickets you guys give out and people get mad about them, I know, Todd, they don't really let you do that. You don't do that.
Well, it's not the host's role. Here's the thing: if I ask Simon what Lasix is, you think I don't know what Lasix is?
Yeah.
Like the role of the host is to set up their analyst and to let them shine. And so it's a whole team effort in that way. So one, that's why I'm not giving out tickets. But I would say I do hold the record for the biggest pick 4 ever given out on a ticket at TVG, and it was $24,000, and it was during the spring meet back at Keeneland. I've spent it and then some since that time. I need to hit several more of those. But I've seen the things out there, and I'll tell you, for someone who came out of simulcast land, and that's what I did. No one gave out tickets, even when I was doing the simulcast at Calder, at Canterbury. No one gave out tickets. That's something that TVG started. And just to give you an idea of the internal part of it, there was a time, if you watch TVG early on, I was giving out $168 pick 4 ticket. So now people are complaining, this $50 ticket. I understand we all play at different levels, but if I were to take you behind the curtain of my plays, which I don't have to reveal, I have no problem throwing $400 into a pick 4. I have no problem throwing $700 into a pick 5. I have a problem when I lose it, because then, the money dries up rather quickly. But I think sometimes people have to be realistic. When you look, if you're going to the track and you're playing on a budget, and that's the whole thing with the TVG tickets. They've been $75, they've been $60, and now they've settled on $50 or less. That has kind of evolved at TVG, and it's all based on looking at our customers' betting habits. And so a lot of people within the TVG audience and TVG account holders do not play at a level where they want to bet a $400 ticket or a $200 ticket or a $100 ticket. I just think people need to be realistic when they're making these criticisms about these tickets. One, could I play a $50 ticket? I've proven that. I've given out tickets that have done well. But is it in my wheelhouse? No. I mean, there's some players who like to play $48 tickets and hit them multiple times. It's not my game. I just want to hit it, and I want to play for the bigger prize. If the pick 4 is coming back $200, that's not my game. But some people love putting in $18, getting back $200, and that's fine. It's all relative. But I've never understood the criticism, because you're putting yourself out there and you're playing. But a lot of times we're playing into a situation because of the budget that they're giving us that normally I wouldn't play at the track. I think people have to be realistic about that. The tickets are based on this. If you had $50 or less to spend, how would you spend it? So then the analyst puts it together. So yesterday, Christina does a 3 by 3 by 3 by 3. And I know that will drive some of the people that you're talking about nuts, but give me a break. It's $40.50. And it's not everyone has to have a single. And at the end of the day, if you honestly think it's the worst way to put a ticket together, don't you want the rest of the pool to be made up of people like that? If you're such a genius with your $50 or less, and this is a horrible ticket, then invite more people like that into the pool, because it's going to pay better for you. So one, I've never understood that criticism. And two, everybody's different in their approach. I can look at some approaches and say, you might want to tweak this, but I never step in really and criticize that. I would just say that in my case, if I'm going to the track and playing a $50 ticket, it's because I'm tapioca and I've had a really bad weekend. So I'll put it that way. And so, I just don't get the criticism on a number of levels. Make your tickets the way you want.
Yeah, we've done it. Yeah, we've done it both ways. I mean, we've heard AJ and Sarah actually got heat on one show because they didn't give. I wasn't on, but they gave because they didn't. Oh, you always have to use a single. And,
yeah,
and
you
they
gotta
only
use
went like
singles and alls. You guys don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Well, mind you, that the AJ and I were on another show handicapping races, and we had a premise. We each had $100. We had to do blah 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 blah. Well, they don't know that, because I'm not going to send out a tweet being like, "Oh, here's all the rules we had to follow."
Yeah.
We just said, "Hey, here's our picks that we're playing for the Pick 4 at Churchill," and
mind
oh
you,
yeah,
you
they
both-
ripped us
yeah.
apart.
And
I was
you
like,
both
"You
hit
guys have no clue."
And they
Yeah.
both hit.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
No, and look, listen, I do believe
Suck on that, Keeneland, Dan.
So you're not a UCLA fan? So here's the thing. Bet a little to win a lot is actually a very good theory. I do get that. But at the end of the day, if someone hits a $1,200 pick 4 by investing 20, great. If someone hits a $1,200 pick 4 by investing 200, great. Like, why do you diminish the $200 play because it was more than the $20 play? You got there with different reasons. So I just, to me, the bottom line is hit it and play within your comfort zone. And, look, every player is different. So I've never understood and I don't even know about posting hits. Like, I've never been the guy like, look what I hit today and put it out there. Maybe it's because I owe some people money. Maybe that's a big part of it. But no, I don't know. social media has kind of changed the whole thing from the criticism, the rest of it. But yeah,
Oh God, yeah.
It's definitely. I mean, we've had this conversation with
tickets.
Yeah, we've had this conversation with. I mean, even Ellis Starr went off about it.
Yeah, he got beat up on Twitter.
That you'd think would lose his temper about it. Like
he gets beat up on Twitter sometimes because horse players are passionate people. They really are, and bettors can bet however they want, however they feel comfortable. But if they disagree, they will let you. They will let the neighbor know. They will let the guy at the gas station know that they disagreed with how you played your picks. And it's like nothing's wrong, really. And how you're going to bet.
Yeah.
If that's how you feel is comfortable spending your money, whether it be $5, whether it be $500, great. Horse players are just passionate people. They are. And I mean that in a positive way and also, a little bit of a negative way. They sometimes let their passion kind of overpower things and no, you got to do this way. You need to like this horse because blah, blah, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Well, and look, with the Ellis Starr situation, that to me is a good example. Do I agree with a lot of what Ellis Starr handicaps? No, I don't. But is Ellis Starr a good human being? Absolutely. Like, I have no doubt about that. And does he promote the game? Absolutely. Like, he's a great ambassador for the sport. You may not like his handicapping angles and think, well, by telling people that, he's leading them astray. No, he's not. He's introducing them to the game in the way that he knows it. And that, to me, is the bottom line. Are you just a good human being? Ellis Starr is, much like everyone on this show, which is why I'll come on the Triple Clowns, because I think you guys are doing a great job representing us. AJ and I clearly don't always agree, but that's on hand.
Today we did more than often, more times than not.
After the initial opening, all of a sudden, it was Team AJ and US Degen.
Yeah. Rocky start, but we pulled it together.
But that would be my admonition to everyone is like, just listen once in a while at the racetrack because you could learn some really good things. And the best source is your fellow horse players. And never be a root against. I was kind of early on in my career. I didn't learn the term root against or RA until later. Then I started to notice those people at the racetrack who were RAs and they were rooting against people. And I thought it invites some bad karma back to you. That's for sure.
Yeah. We deal with that. More of that coming up.
That's just because I always root against you. But...
Well, that's different. That's different. Yeah. That's different. That's friendly ribbing, I guess. But yeah, no. So let's. Sorry, we have the numbers real quick to give them out. I know this has been a little, and we didn't go over them real quick. What our picks are, real fast before we wrap it
we'll
up.
be posting them on Twitter tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
So definitely follow our Twitter. I'll post everybody's picks, what we went over on our show, and see if you guys have some luck tomorrow at Del Mar. And I know Todd needs to get to Del Mar. We got to get to Del Mar.
We got to get to Del Mar as well. So we will be heading down there. AJ's got to go sit and eat cereal, yelling at Saratoga.
Yep.
I'm sure. That's pretty much
minute to post.
Well, thank you for everything you do.
Absolutely. Thank you, Todd, for coming on.
Thank you, Todd.
We'll see you soon.
We'll see you, buddy.